Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Brainal podcast. I am Jeppy Condile.
I am Frozen GFX.
And I am Mr. Giggles.
And today is October 9th, 2015. And we are a few weeks into the soft launch of Brainal. So Giggles, what are your thoughts on that?
Why is it always every time? This is the second podcast in a row. I think it's amazing. I think that we have a lot of good stuff for the viewers. I think that we have a lot of good material planned, some really funny material planned, that I think everyone's going to like, and I think it's going really well. How about you?
Frozen?
Yeah, man, I agree with what he said. Ditto.
Nice. Moving along. Wait, when you say funny stuff planned, are you talking about the other Brainly Yours? What are you talking about? Okay.
We haven't officially posted that yet, though.
Are you?
Oh, dude, it's out there. You are
today.
You are out there to the world. Everybody knows Mr. Giggles and his coo.
Actually, that was Michael. The
That's
funny
right.
Thing
That was your
was, my favorite thing about it was your very first introduction vocally into the YouTube videos was just you laughing, you giggling, and I thought that was very appropriate.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start and it. So let's just get into some random news that happened this past week.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, so one thing that was a little interesting to me, I don't know how I feel about this, but you guys you guys are familiar with Rock Band and Guitar Hero coming back?
Oh my god, I really do want the new Rock Band.
I didn't know it was coming back, but that's cool.
Yeah, actually Rock Band 4 came out this past Tuesday. It was on the 6th.
It feels like they've had a lot more than 4. They've only had 4?
Well, the thing is, I think they had 4 official ones, but I remember, wasn't the Beatles one technically a rock band? It was like Beatles Rock Band? Is that what it was
think
called?
so. Yeah, and did Aerosmith have one, or was that
I think
Guitar
that was
Hero?
Guitar Hero.
Okay.
Yeah, and Metallica had one for Guitar Hero, I think. No. Actually,
I don't
know if
remember
Aerosmith-
Metallica.
I know Green Day did.
What?
And I'm pretty sure Metallica had one. Oh no, I'll look it up in a second. But Giggles, I realize I've never talked to you about it. What are your I didn't know you were into those games.
Oh, college, I was a Rock Band rock star. Are you kidding? I loved them. I mean, I broke my drum set. I broke my friend's drum set. Actually, he broke his drum set. But we loved them. We used to play them. It was a blast. I'll tell you that the problem was with those games is that they would release more songs, but after a while, you just want to go out and play the real thing. I thought the games were really good, but after the second or third one, they kind of trailed off. They weren't doing anything to reinvigorate the series.
Yeah. Me personally, I think the Guitar Hero and Rock Band, I think Guitar Hero was a little bit more guilty of this. Activision with Guitar Hero was one of the first, from what I remember, franchises to really start doing annualization. And I feel I just started to get sick of it at a certain point. I thought they had too much. I don't know if Rock Band did that.
Well, did you plan, and Frozen, you can jump on this, did you guys play, the first couple of them at all? The first 3?
First 3 what?
Rock Band, not Rock Band's Guitar Hero?
Well, the first time that I got introduced to Guitar Hero I was over at Jeppy's, and I think he had that and DJ Hero.
Yeah.
And that was really my first introduction to that.
You love DJ Hero. I love DJ Hero.
Yeah, but the Rock Band series, I really haven't played that except for really the time when Jeppy and I went to Player One.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. I didn't realize you didn't play Rock Band before that. For those of you who don't know, Player One is it's like a barcade, but a really nice one in Orlando, Florida. They're really cool.
Yeah, we got to go there again.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Um, the yeah, I played. Yeah, that's right. Because I remember playing the very first Guitar Hero. I think it was for the PlayStation 2, if I remember correctly.
It was.
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember
really?
playing that. Yeah, and it was obviously toward the end of the life cycle. Um, but I really enjoyed it. I do play guitar, and I just thought it was cool. But it was new at the time. I'm looking here. So this is the for Guitar Hero. The quick timeline is Guitar Hero in 2006 and Guitar Hero 2 in 2007. Then Guitar Hero Legends of Rock. I think they just didn't call it 3 in '08. And then '09, you had what you said, Frozen Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Then they had some other stuff, but then they had Metallica in 2010, as well as Guitar Hero 5. And then they had DJ Hero. Oh, that's right. And then they went to Band Hero. This is when they started to compete with Rock Band, because Rock Band brought the drums and the bass guitar and singing. I remember that, and the keyboard. So that's when I went to Band Hero, and then Van Halen, and then DJ Hero 2. I could have sworn that a Green Day one, unless maybe that's Rock Band. But
Well, maybe there was like a DLC for the Green Day songs or something like that.
oh, maybe that is what it is. I'm looking at Rock Band. Let's look at the quick timeline. I hope they have one here. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a little bit more partial to just the actual mechanics of, or the UI, I should say, of Guitar Hero. I didn't really like in Rock Band the bars they had. I like the circles that Guitar Hero had. That's something little.
Yeah, and the star power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what it was too is the difference was is that not everyone liked playing guitar. The diversity is what saved that whole genre of that type of game with Rock Band, because of the fact that you had people that like they love those songs because they always do iconic songs, and then you had people that loved the drums. And as soon as that came out, and then you could do a guitar with it. I mean, I remember the reason why that game was so popular, and at least my neck of the woods, was because of the fact that you could have 3, 4 people playing at once. Whereas Guitar Hero, the most you could ever have was 2.
Yeah, until Band Hero came out.
Right.
Right. Which, to be honest, I never played. I don't even know if my friends ever had Band Hero. Did you guys play Band Hero? Because I don't remember Band Hero.
No, I've really it's the first time I hear it about it actually.
My point exactly. Like, I kind of feel like at that point that ship had sailed.
So they're bringing it back, and I heard that it's more of the same. At least with Rock Band, I know Guitar Hero, they're having a Guitar Hero live thing coming out, but it kind of irks me sometimes when you don't hear anything from either of those franchises, and then you hear rumbles of, oh, I hear Rock Band's coming back, and then Activision's like, oh, now we got to have a Guitar Hero game to come out to compete with it. What really bugged me was Activision. Sometimes they really take advantage of some of their developing teams or whatever, like Neversoft, and they'll work them to death, and then they'll just close them down if they don't, perform, and
Yeah, that
kind of bugs me.
sucks.
Yeah, but either way, I thought that was pretty interesting. Yes, kind of making a comeback, but honestly, it hasn't made the biggest splash that I thought it could possibly have made. But we'll see.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really think there's a going to be a surge for that. That fad is pretty much over, as Giggle said. The ship has sailed, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I get excited because it's kind of like, I'm trying to think what the game was that came out last year, but it's like one of those, like, when you hear, like, you guys remember Turok?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Turok? Whatever.
Turok?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
To rock. To rock.
But think about it. I mean, how old is that game? And I remember, like, I think I played him when I was, like, 12, 13 years old. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I got all excited. And then I kind of got over it. But all of a sudden, like 10 years later, they were going to make another one. And I don't know why, but I was, like, excited about it. Like, I didn't even beat the first one, but I was excited that they were going to make another one. It's kind of like that way with Rock Band. Like, I had a blast. I played it with my friends. I never, like, you know how they had that, like, campaign mode and you would go and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I don't think I ever even beat it on my own, because I was always doing the co-op at my friend's, so we just unlocked all the songs at his. It was,
Yeah.
it was a
Well,
fun
I
party
think
thing.
I think the difference, though, with a game like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, they had so many different flavors of that series that came out. You didn't really have a chance to miss that game like you did when you
Yeah.
the example that you had with Turok. Okay, yeah, maybe it wasn't a AAA game that everybody was dying to get, but it was one of those sleeper games that people do remember, and they were if there's an announcement that a new Turok is coming out, like, oh yeah, man, I remember that. That'll be kind of cool to see,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has potential. I think it will be interesting to see what happens. I know that I really did want to check it out just because of that nostalgia feeling. And the fact is those last 3 or 4 Rock Band and Rock Band games that came out, like, I never really played either of them. So for me, it's been a while.
Yeah. It's been a while. All right, so all right. Moving along. This is random as hell, so I apologize. But this past week,
We don't forgive you.
I don't need your forgiveness. In fact, your anti-forgiveness is what fuels me.
What?
Exactly. His unforgiveness. All right, so
You got to commit to it, man.
I know. Well, I don't want to get sued. All right, Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V announced a new character this week. Her name is Laura.
Yeah.
And yeah, she looked pretty awesome. What was she jiu-jitsu, right? I think she's straight up Brazilian. It looked.
You know what? I don't know anything else except for what I saw in the screenshot. But didn't she look like, I don't know, like a Rose? You remember Rose from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she
Like with
kind
her
of looks
hair?
like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but not as like elegant. More from the streets.
So let me ask you a question. You both
Body
play
of-
Street Fighter, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is this a brand new character, like, to the series?
Yeah.
Brand new.
Okay. I mean, I don't play. You guys are the experts on that one. So.
Well, she came from Turok. Remember?
It's gonna be interesting. What bugged me was they were supposed to have a Street Fighter V beta at the end of July, and then they had crazy server issues. So I think at the end of this month, they're finally supposed to roll out that beta. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to play it.
Well, you know what this means? We're going to have to convert our joysticks to be compatible with PS4s now.
I'm kind of hoping, Frozen, and you interpret this as you want. I'm kind of hoping that you just completely lose all interest in fighting games, so I don't have to fight you anymore.
Yeah, I would expect you to say that, because it's been a long, long history of me just kicking your ass, and I'm tired of having to fight the bullshit tactics that you have. So I'm glad that reassurance is there, because again, it really just drives home that I am the king, and you will bow down. So thank you.
Frozen, here's a question: was any of that genuine? I'm curious. I really want to know.
You know what? If you don't think it's genuine, then meet me on the streets.
I think we're gonna have to do a video and post it to the website.
I think you're gonna have to shut the up. Okay.
I think we need to
fine.
give our viewers a true testament to how much Jeppy sucks.
The one Dragon Ball Z game.
Oh yeah, but
I'm giving you that one.
It wasn't.
Giggles, I'm giving you that one. I'm not denying you didn't kick my ass. I'm not denying that.
Listen, just give up before
What
Earth's
did I just
mightiest
say?
hero. Just it's okay.
Oh my god. Okay,
It's all right. It's okay, Jeppy.
Talking now.
You can
Okay.
You can have Smash because I suck at that game.
Frozen, for you, I want you to know I already have Street Fighter V pre-ordered. So ball's in your court.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll meet you on the streets, man.
I'm at the streets. I'm waiting in the streets. I'm reporting on the streets. I'm a street reporter. This is Street Reporter 5.
He built the street.
The streets.
I did not build the street. Okay. All right. But Giggles, I'm letting you know right now. Next time I see you, I'm gonna slap you. You'll forget, but I will. Oh, okay. So anyway, I'm excited. That wasn't a. They announced. I forgot his name. They announced that other. There's another character that was completely brand new, but all the other ones I've seen so far are returning characters from other games. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So we got that. Any other comments on that, or are we good with that?
When does
I'm
it come
good.
out?
I'll meet you on the streets. It's
Early
fine.
next year. Oh my god. Okay. Early next year. Giggles. Early next year is when my almost 2-decade-long friendship with Frozen's gonna end. They're gonna call it Streets of Rage. Anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna have to record every battle that we have, so that there is no question and no Johning of any kind.
You know I don't, John. You know that.
I'm so excited for this.
When have I ever johned?
No, I don't think you have johned.
Good.
But
And nor will
don't-
I.
Just don't start. That's all I'm saying.
Giggles, you know what johnning is?
Nope, not a clue.
Yeah. All right.
It's all right. You'll
So-
hear it from him early next year. It's okay.
I am so glad we're gonna document this. I am so glad.
Oh man, it's gonna be great.
This is gonna be brutal. That's what this is gonna be. Brainal's not gonna last. That was gonna be the end of Brainal. Okay. So guess what happened today as far as the PS4 in stores?
In stores, don't.
Cut the price?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
to $350. To $350 effective today. 500 gigabytes. 500 gigabyte hard drive. Yeah, this I'm very curious to see what now I don't know if they're doing this to phase out the 500 gigabyte models, because I did read somewhere that I guess 1 terabyte models are supposed to come in at some point, if they haven't been in already.
So aren't they going to release the 500 gigabyte and then a 1 terabyte, or did they already do the 1 terabyte one?
That's the thing. That's why I don't remember. I don't know if the 1 terabyte is out. There might have been a 1 terabyte version of special editions. I don't know.
Well,
What about the Destiny one you have? Giggles, the white one. Is that 1 terabyte or is that
No,
500?
I'm 99% positive it's a 500.
So it's 1 terabyte. It's probably 1 terabyte. It's like 2 terabytes.
It's 500 gigs.
500 terabytes.
so I remember hearing or reading actually that the 1 terabyte models, and again, I don't know if it's out yet or if it's coming out, but the 1 terabyte models is actually using the older hardware, and the 500 gigabyte models that are coming out are actually newer boards that are thinner and more heat efficient or cooling efficient. But I got to find that. Maybe I could post that to the site, because I remember reading that and I was like, that seems pretty backwards. Why would you put old hardware with a 1 terabyte drive and then the new one with a 500? It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that doesn't. So you're saying like the new one? I have the Destiny Special Edition. Are you saying that one has like new hardware in it?
Well, I don't know for sure. I'll have to.
But I'm
read
saying,
that.
is that what the rumor is?
Well, I don't know if your specific one is a victim
Answer
of
his
that.
question, Frozen. Why don't you know?
It's speculation at this point, so I'll have to get back to you guys on that, and maybe I'll post it.
We
on
don't
the site.
speculate here on Brainal. We only factuate.
I'll factuate your ass at the beginning of the year.
Oh my god. I'm not going to say any more in the matter, because I'm just going to let.
Yeah,
I'm just going to let
it's
this.
fine. We'll let the streets talk.
We will. We will. The streets will talk. Right now, they're just whispering. All right. So, okay. Now this week, you hear about the video game actor um, unionization
No,
No, but
not a
I'm
clue.
almost not
or
surprised.
voice actors, I would say. Yeah. So the what was it called? It was SAG something like that. I forgot. It was like the Screen Actors Guild mixed with the union of something, or not union, but anyway, the video game voice actors have with with a with the majority, like an overwhelming majority from what I read, um, they have decided to essentially authorize or have the ability to authorize a strike. If they have, I think, 75% votes, then they'll go on strike. They're not on strike now, but they have that option now to do that. Um, I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah,
And,
it's a bit scary.
huh?
I said that's a bit scary. I mean, I don't want to.
Well, it's scary for everything except Nintendo. What is Link gonna do? Link is just gonna
Yeah, you won't hear his. Yeah.
skank.
Could you just imagine being in a room for like 3 hours, just going ha ha ha, and he's just yelling.
Oh, you
Just
better hold
triggered
that
something
motherfucker.
else. I don't want to talk about. We'll talk to you about later, giggles.
Yeah, that's gonna be offline. That's so.
And yes, that has happened. So
I mean, I'm
you don't have
not
to imagine.
I'm not a voice actor, so I don't feel guilty about my poor imitations. But
Clearly.
Oh, I
Giggy
see what you're saying.
Goo,
Sorry,
Ryota,
you're
whatever.
saying how grueling that must be to be a video game voice actor.
well, I'm just saying, could you imagine how funny it must be to be in that room doing all of Link's voices for like a half hour, an hour, just sitting there, making that same sound over and over and over again?
With the director just kind of giving motivation.
The most
You're
in-depth
in
preparation.
you're in a field and there's grass, but you need money and there's money in the grass. What do you say?
You're so
Give me another one.
There's pots everywhere, and inside these pots there may be rupees. What do you say?
It feels good, doesn't it? It feels a little good.
It's typical with a T. 'Cause why speak when you don't have to? Anyway, so yeah, that's a big thing. And Jennifer Hale was part of that. David Hayter agreed to it, as
Nice.
well as what's the name of the guy Giggles in Deus Ex, the main character's name?
Adam Jensen?
Yeah, his voice actor also agreed to that. I think his name is like Elias something. I forgot his last name. But yeah, but hey, I can't imagine what it's like to do that, and they must be severely underpaid or something like that with the amount of work they do. So, more power to them. I would hate for any particular, especially in the video game industry, I would hate for any particular publisher to exploit any type of employee of any type, not just voice actors and everything. So
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's a tough business. I mean, if you think about it, you only come out with, what, a few games a year, if that, and then you have one voice actor that can do most of those. And a lot of these companies, like Neversoft closed, was it last, oh no, how long ago?
a while ago.
No, they closed. What was the other company that closed last year that finally shut its doors? We were talking about Neversoft, so I was thinking them. But there's another company that just closed last year. And then I think it was a branch of Square Enix closed last year, the very beginning of last year. I know their Montreal office is still open, but because they're the ones, that's Eidos that's producing Deus Ex.
Eidos.
Yeah, whatever. Eidos, my bad. And, but a lot of them, I mean, think about it. There's not that many video games compared to other things that come out. Like movies and stuff like that, I'm sure. Like, and if you have one actor doing 4 or 5 different roles.
Yeah, but they some of the very well known ones definitely juggle many roles, and not just in video games, but also in animated works and everything.
Right. So, yeah.
One thing I don't like, unless it's a very well known person, I don't seem to like when they use their likeness in the game as well. If it's a voice actor, like a strict voice actor, for example, Kevin Spacey, right
Oh
in
yeah,
Advanced
yeah.
Warfare, I thought he was awesome,
Oh, he was perfect.
but Troy Baker, I didn't realize that the main character you were was pretty much Troy Baker's face because I was wondering. I'm not calling him ugly. I'm not saying that at all. I was so used to just them coming up with faces, that are just brand new, and I'm like, man, this guy kind of looks just his face looks kind of like ordinary. I was kind of shocked by that, and then I realized that it was him, his actual face, which is it is what it is. I was just kind of shocked by that, but
Hmm.
yeah, either way.
So you want a more handsome
I just
soldier.
want Kevin Spacey's. I want Kevin Spacey everywhere.
Space.
All right, next. Have you guys seen the demo at the this week's Microsoft event for HoloLens?
I have
No.
not. I haven't seen anything related to that.
Okay, I would ask that you guys check it out eventually. Um, I still don't know what to make of it. They had this. Okay, so I'll just explain. So this guy's chilling in what's supposed to be his apartment. He has a HoloLens headset on, and all of a sudden, you can see they did that thing where it's like they used a camera that had the HoloLens of visualization on it, so you could see pretty much kind of like what that guy was seeing. And all of a sudden, through the walls of his home, these robots or alien robots, whatever they were, they started breaking through, and he was holding this thing, this controller, one handed, something like a Wii remote or PlayStation Move, and it looked like his whole arm, or at least his forearm, had this like Metroid shooter attached to it, which looked cool. And then he was shooting the different enemies, and they were coming on different parts of the wall, and debris would crash, and it would land like directly on perfectly his couch, and it looked really cool. But it seemed extremely tech demo-y to me. Again, it's just my opinion. So I thought that was cool, but I would prefer. I didn't see the purpose of really having a game like that with augmented reality. I'd rather just have straight up virtual reality, like just blot everything out. But I saw another demo where this guy, and this actually I liked. He was just chilling in his place, but instead of it being a game, he had basically all his programs and apps that he used all over his apartment. So he can have a whole wall display like a movie player, so it could display like a movie or whatever pictures. And then he had essentially just imagine on your desk right now. Imagine if there was no monitor, but if you wore that thing, there was a monitor there, kind of like Minority Report, and you could pretty much work on whatever program you want. And it was really impressive to me. That was, and he also had like a virtual dog or whatever, virtual pet. But that I thought was interesting. The game stuff, not so much. But I'm wondering what they're gonna do. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hololens, they are trying to pimp for the Xbox, right? Wasn't that the original intent?
Yeah, I believe
It,
so.
and then I know Microsoft, I know Windows 10 is a big thing now, but I just thought that was interesting. But I'm curious. I know Giggles where you sit on this, but I'm curious as to if you had to pick one, what would you prefer? More of an augmented reality, uh, device like the Hololens, or more of a virtual reality device like the Oculus or the Morpheus?
Um, that's a good question. I guess if I was gonna pick, I would probably go with the HoloLens. I think I would, if it was done right, I'd probably enjoy that. I think the concept of virtual reality is cool and stuff like that. I just, I don't know, something about just sitting on my screen or watching it from a screen and playing it. I just like that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a tradition of doing it for so many years.
No,
So
yeah,
I think it
I
would
know
be,
where you're coming
and
from.
I think coming from that perspective, the HoloLens, that would be like, to me, that's like the middle ground. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
On list of extremes, that would probably be the least extreme out of all of them.
Gotcha. Frozen.
The augmented reality kind of concerns me because, I mean, I'm thinking about like long term. if games started using that technology, augmenting your living space or wherever you're using it, there's got to be there. To me, it feels like there would be blurred lines to that at sometimes. Like your brain is not going to be able to determine what is real and what's not real with extended
Oh,
use.
yeah, I know
You
what
know
you're
what I
talking
mean?
about.
Like that.
As opposed to virtual reality where you know everything's fake.
Right. You know everything
Yeah.
is fake. There's nothing of your everyday items or your where you're living in there, unless I guess you choose to be. But yeah, I don't know that. I mean, because you just described that guy, sitting in his apartment and then robots, breaking through the walls. Like that immediately was like, damn, that's some scary. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like if
Could you
I'm,
imagine if you like fell asleep on your couch and we played a prank on you and we put it on you and then that just
yeah,
happened?
that would be the end of all friendships. I mean that's my first concern. Maybe me watching the video, the tech demo, it'll be different. But I mean, as technology gets, advances more, it gets worrisome. Like where's the barrier? Where's those separation between that? I don't like really joining that together.
Yeah, yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
And that's the thing. I love watching movies. And JP, me and you have talked about this a lot. And I think maybe a little bit with you too, Frozen, is I like the idea of like going to the movie theater, the feeling, the nostalgia of sitting in a movie theater grabbing popcorn and like seeing a movie for the first time. And I like that with video games, especially with how aesthetically well done they are now. I don't know, something about that to me, it's what keeps me playing them. And maybe that's why I'm not as
So
drawn to that VR.
so it's just like the overall traditional experience that you're used
Yeah.
to.
Maybe I think it just all comes back to that in a weird sense.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's not like they're forcing you to do virtual reality and convert everything. It's just another option. Me personally, I'm very looking forward to it. I don't think it would translate well for all game types, obviously, but I can imagine, obviously horror games would be awesome for that.
Oh my
See, I don't think
god,
Destiny. I don't think Destiny would work out well.
augmented reality on like Soma or something.
No,
Jeez, right? Like Silent Hill. Oh no, no, no.
virtual reality, yes, I'd be down for that. Augmented reality, I don't know how I'd feel. I'm curious. Just popped in my head. Have any of you ever tried Google Glass?
No, I haven't had my hands on that.
I never tried it.
I heard it was incredible though.
I have no idea. I was just curious.
I've seen
I
it.
just
I had
I wonder what it would
friends
be
that had
like
it.
since it just covers one eye.
My friend that
But
had it, he was wearing it, walking it around, and he said it was really cool. He said like it takes it's definitely different, but it didn't. It's like wearing a pair of glasses. It was designed so you felt like. I think they brought people in who wore glasses and made them wear it with the Google Glass and try to tell the difference. Like they did some type of study like that. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
gotcha. I mean, I trust in Google and all the research they did. I bet the Google Glass for me isn't. It's not for me particularly, but I imagine it would be an interesting experience. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was just curious. With
Uh,
oh yeah, go for it.
no, I was gonna talk about something else, but if you wanna,
Just one more thing with the augmented reality. One thing I feel like they're not showing us is how your how would the Hololens know the dimensions of your room unless you had sensors like what the Kinect had or something. So I don't
Well,
know if they're showing us all the hardware or not.
I think it wouldn't be that hard for it to visually detect the distance in the room.
Well, I'm saying though, I'm wondering if that's built into the Hololens itself, depending on where you're looking, or if that is um, a completely separate part to that, where you would mount on a wall or something to scan the room
The,
constantly and feed information.
I
yeah,
was gonna say I talked to my brother about this.
Mm-hmm.
He's in computer and writing algorithms for those programs. That's what he wants to do. And we were having a conversation about this a few nights ago, and he told me that like with the Google cars, you know how they're building cars that drive themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is the camera actually can measure the distance between 2 points. And what it does is it can make it into an algorithm that tells you how long that space is. And it can do it in real time. And you have
Well,
instantaneous information. So you could look at the room with this HoloLens, and they could be using the same algorithm that it knows that this room is 10 feet wide. And there's a coffee table in the middle, 3 feet from one wall and 5 feet from the other.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But I think Jeppy is more, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeppy, but I think you're asking more of what additional hardware you would need.
Yeah.
You know, it seems logical to me that, you know, the HoloLens. I mean, I haven't even seen it, to be honest with you. So is it like a helmet that you're putting on?
Yeah. It
So
looks like
so that makes me believe that there's some cameras inside that helmet that's, you know, recording your exterior and then projecting whatever that augmented reality game is, you know, meant to do.
Yeah, supposedly dev kits are supposed to go out next year, so there's still a while for that to come out. But I was it's just curious for me. But
So
yeah, go for it.
yeah, so something completely different and something I wanted to ask you guys. I saw a video yesterday of somebody playing a game called Bomb Manual. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
No.
Okay. Seems pretty interesting, and I think it's something that we can do together for the site. So basically, now you can use either your PC or I believe you can use, yeah, the Oculus Rift and the Samsung Gear VR, apparently. And what you're doing is one person is the diffuser of a bomb, and you need to play with other people who are the experts. And the experts are going through the bomb defusal manual, instructing the diffuser what to do in order to defuse the bomb.
Wait, didn't you tell me about this a long time ago?
No, actually, this is something that I just discovered yesterday. I may have talked about it like, oh, it'd be cool if you could do this type of thing, but
I could have sworn we talked about this before. I mean, like last year.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know when it came out, how
It
long.
sounds cool though.
Yeah, so in the video that I saw, they were on some next level stuff. I mean, the guy was looking at a bomb that just so happened to have it was a two-sided bomb that had 6 panels on each side. There were some serial numbers and some clues on the edges of the cases, on the case of the bomb, that he had to relay to the experts in order for them to find exactly what type of pattern and what your steps are to defuse the bomb. And it's all within a countdown. So I think that would be pretty cool for us to play, and really excited to try that with you guys.
That would be cool. And giggles, that actually made me think of something. Okay, what if for virtual reality, okay, would you be more willing to try it? I'm not saying invest in buying anything, but what if they had something like the escape room we did? Where we could be in a virtual escape room, me and you, and we have to work together to escape.
That could be cool.
See, like an application of that I think would be, yeah, pretty dope. Which, because when you were describing that, Frozen, it
Yeah.
reminded me of the teamwork involved with that.
Although, if I knew I was helping you defuse a bomb, I would really just make you cut the wrong wire, so you'd blow up. So, I don't know how.
Yeah,
fun
but
that-
you
So-
fuck up all the time, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, and I think so that just narrows it down to me and Jeppy playing this game.
Yep.
All right, good to know.
Go team.
Okay, so now we'll take a really quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, welcome back to the Brainal podcast. So one thing I wanted to ask, I forgot to ask this earlier. This is not the question of the week. I wanted to ask, what games have you been playing this week?
Well, I'll go first. I've been playing, of course, continuing on with the Myst series. I've been doing some tinkering with some of the old school games. Jeppy, I know I showed you a little teaser of what's to come. I'll tell people. Oh my god! So after a few days of tweaking, I finally got Journeyman Project Turbo up and running. So that's going to be coming out pretty soon. In addition, Jeppy, you don't know this,
Oh.
but I also got Shivers on deck.
Oh, why did you do that, man? I wish I had a seatbelt on my seat right now. I would have fastened it. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So
Giggles. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Giggles. Okay, Mist, it was huge. But for Frozen and for Frozen and me, but I do feel Journeyman Project Turbo, which is not that well known of a game. And same thing with Shivers.
Right.
Those two PC games, I think we randomly and coincidentally actually played them. We didn't tell the other person to play it or anything like that, but man, very formative of our video game minds today.
Yeah, it is something that I think. I mean, because you and I, like you said before, almost 2 decades of friendship, but we just kind of randomly. I don't know who mentioned the game, but you're right. It's not a very well known game, and when we mentioned it, it was like, holy shit! You play that game too? So
You know what? I think I'm going to use that little remix, little ditty that I did a few months ago. Put it in the break music.
That'd be cool.
I think that'd be cool.
Cool,
That'd
cool.
be awesome. Oh man, I'm excited. That's great. You got Shivers. Oh, Chihoje. I can't
So-
wait, man.
So I got that going, and then more to come with The Last Blade.
Nice.
That game is so hard, but I'm determined to beat it. So those are some things that are going to be coming out. I'm going to try to do Super Meat Boy since it's a free game now on the PS4.
Have you played it on the 360?
No, I never played that game.
Do you know what it's like?
I know it's a painstakingly nightmare of a game.
Yes, please
But-
do me that. If you do that, I don't think it would qualify as a review because it's an old game, I guess.
Right.
But that would definitely be perfect for Brainal plays, and I would love to hear you go crazy.
Yeah, I would imagine it's going to test my patience and my sanity. So
Yes, I'm excited.
as soon as I get everything set up to start recording the PS4, then we're gonna do it.
Awesome. What about you, Giggles?
I was pretty simple this week. I played Destiny and I finally hopped back on Final Fantasy 14.
How's
Oh.
that going?
That's it. We're not gonna see him again on Destiny.
No, I have faith in Giggles this time. I think he's going to do a much better job at juggling.
Well, you know what it was is I was so intent on beating that game. I just had, and now that I did it, I don't feel the need that I have to play it for like 18 hours straight like I did the first time I got it. It's one of those things is because I just want to get to the end, and now that you're at the end takes
You're
so
referring
long.
to Final Fantasy, correct?
Yes, Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Well, it's very similar for MMOs, which for those that don't know, Jeppy's only MMO experience is Destiny. Which
Yeah, if you call it that, but it has
Very
qualities, right? MMO
right,
qualities.
it's
Yeah,
very
definitely.
a very unique MMO. But and I know that with Frozen's background, he can attest to this. It takes hours upon hours upon hours to really progress through a game like that. So I'm just kind of enjoying it now that I've gotten at least a character to the max level.
Cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, so me, I've been playing Soma, I've been continuing with that. But I started getting other games I forgot I was playing. This is going to sound so stupid, but I love this so much. There's a game that came out, was it last week? A couple weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago, but I started playing it really this week, was Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
Oh,
I need to
God.
preface this by saying that there is no dancing involved on my part physically. Okay,
That's a
it's
lie.
not like Just Dance.
That's a lie.
It is just me dancing.
It's literally just him dancing.
If you're not familiar with it, the Persona series is a spin-off of a Japanese RPG series called Shin Megami Tensei. It was originally a spin-off, and then it became its own thing, developed by Atlas. And one of my friends, my good friends, he turned me on to Persona 4 on the Vita, and I played it. I forgot when I beat it. I think it was earlier this year or like last year. I forgot. No, it was this year. Amazing RPG. I really enjoyed it. And so they had fighting games that came out with that series and a rhythm game that's like a dancing game. And I love every second of it. It is so amazingly awesome and adorable. I just smile the whole time. So I've been playing that. Of which I'm very excited. Persona 5 is coming out next year. Very excited about that. And I've been playing this other Vita game called Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc or something like that. A Japanese game. But essentially, I'll just give you the quick premise. You are you're accepted to a college, a very prestigious college. And you, in a group of, I'm going to guess, like 12 people, maybe? No,
birds?
16 people. No birds. No, yeah, that's your game. The only way to graduate from this college is to kill someone else and get away with it. And every time somebody dies, it's like a murder mystery type thing. And I just did the first trial last night. It was amazing. Anytime somebody dies, they hold a trial, and you have to, kind of like Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, but a lot more. It's dark. I mean, like really dark compared to that stuff. You have to work with the others and find out clues. And if you end up accusing the wrong person, the person who really did the crime gets away and they graduate. Everyone else gets killed.
Oh, jeez.
It's really messed up. But
That
there were
escalated.
some at AWA Giggles. We saw several. You might not have noticed it. If you ever see a big like teddy bear that's half black, half white, that's what that's from. And
You mean a panda?
No, it's like the white. It's like left and right halves, and the white half is like the good one, and the black half is like the evil one. That's crazy. But if you accuse the correct person, then they get executed. But the way they get executed, I was introduced to it last night. I was like, wow. It usually takes a lot for me to I think I'm fairly desensitized to certain types of violence. But this violence, I was just kind of shocked that it were to happen. And one thing else that was really cool is when you actually solve, it's very, anime style visually. When you solve a case, the very last thing you have to do, you have to actually sort of create, they have a comic book, like comic book panels, and you have to fill in certain comic book panels that are missing to flesh out the actual, events that occurred in the murder. And the way they reenacted was very impressive, and it was super creepy the way they showed the killer. Have any of you ever watched Detective Conan or Case Closed?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if you guys remember, but whenever they talk about a killer, they don't know who it is. They always show the person in like black, but with very like white eyes. So you're not supposed to know who it is, but they look really creepy. And they do something similar to that, and it blew my mind. I was very, very impressed with it. So that's what I've been playing. Other than that, and Destiny. And How to Full Boyfriend.
And Akibo's Trip.
Akiba Strip and Onichambara. But I didn't really play those. You played them.
Yeah, I guess those count as games I've played this week, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Well,
so.
if you consider playing them. Playing, sucking. I don't know.
What?
I'll tell you, you know what? I know it came out already, at least I think a couple months ago at this point. I'm seriously considering finally breaking down and buying The Witcher 3, though.
I think you would like it, but then I'm also thinking, don't you have Dragon Age?
I still gotta play Dragon Age.
Yeah, one thing is, I have both games. I do, not really, but I do regret buying both without beating one of the other ones because they're huge games.
That's the thing. They're so time consuming. They're not games, and I hate playing those games. And then you take a week off, and then you come back, and you can't remember half the stuff you just did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would suggest to I would go back to Dragon Age if you can. I think you'd love it, man. Seriously, I think I'm about 50 hours in, and I love that game. But the Metal Gear, I've been playing Metal Gear too. So
Yeah,
Was
well,
that the question of the day?
no, the question of the day. Let's see what the question.
that wasn't the question of the day.
No,
He totally was like the next thing we'll talk about is the question of the day.
but when we came from the break, I did say I do want to ask you one question. I forgot to ask.
totally
That's
over
not the
my
question
head.
of the- That's nothing new. So, question of the day. And it's kind of related to what we talked about earlier, especially when you started talking about Turok giggles. If there were any one franchise that could be rebooted, video game franchise, and let's assume that the reboot would be done very well, okay, what would you pick if you could only choose one?
Does it have to be a franchise, or can
Damn.
it be one game? That should have been a franchise.
No, that's fine.
Okay, I have mine right off the bat. No questions asked.
Go for it.
Legend of the Dragoon for PlayStation 1.
You were telling me about this.
That game I think was so underrated. I think that it was one of those multi-disc games that became really popular towards the end, towards PlayStation 2. I know a lot of games, it was given a lot of like 6.5 out of 10s, but it had this beautiful world, flushed out story, completely different from a lot of other games at the time. And if they could reboot that game with the graphics and everything, just the aesthetics that we can do now, I think that game would be a hit, like hands down.
Can you tell everyone the premise of the game, what kind of game it was?
It was a turn-based game, like many of the time, like Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that. It was all based around you, this one character who found out he came from a very important lineage of dragoons.
So wait, hold on, sorry. When you say turn-based, I know you said Final Fantasy. You mean turn-based RPG
Yes, I'm
or
sorry,
real-time?
yeah. Turn-based
Okay.
RPG.
Okay, cool. So Dragoons.
Yeah.
And
That,
if I remember, if I
that
understand this correctly, Dragoons are like dragon riders.
Oh yeah, dragons are basically dragon knights.
Okay,
They're
okay.
basically interchangeable.
Gotcha. So what do you absolutely love about it? Why bring that back?
The characters, the story, it was like, when you play like a good Final Fantasy game, the thing that keeps you going is that you become invested in the character. Whatever that great character flaw is, like everyone loves Cloud, but Cloud is such a flawed character. You know what I mean? He was basically a failed. Spoiler for anyone who hasn't already played Final Fantasy VII. He was a flawed character. He was failed. His memories were a mush. He had, you know what I mean? Like he had to deal with the fact that his whole life was a lie. And the main character, whose name was Dart, which I thought was always such an interesting concept, that his name was something as silly as Dart, kind of went through the same metamorphosis where he kind of found out like this was his place in the world. And the whole game starts with him coming back home after trying to find his place in the world. And then, the character that he meets and the different places that he goes and the things that they do and this whole story that gets flushed out. And there's a lot of cool and interesting twists as you played. And it was the first time where, you played this game where the story, like, it was so big it had to be on multiple discs. And it's told it like chapters of a book. So each disc was like, chapter 1 was this conflict in the one nation you started in, and then it moved on. And literally, it was incredible. The battle system was awesome. The concept you could turn into a dragoon, and your dragoon, depending on how advanced you were, your dragoon, let's say you were like a level 5 dragoon, you could be a dragoon for 5 turns.
Do you remember who the developer was?
No, I mean,
Here, I'll look it up. It was like,
I'll have to look it up. Are you looking it up right now?
yeah.
I don't even know I wonder if the developer's even around. old game. I don't think it was by a well-known one.
No, developed by Sony. Developed and published by Sony, yeah. SCEI. Came out 1999 in Japan.
Yeah. It was phenomenal.
That's cool. That'd be cool. Can you play... You could play PlayStation 1 games on... I know on the PS3. Can you do it on PS4?
I don't know. I'd have to check.
With PS Now, right?
Well, I mean, putting the disc in. Does it natively work?
Oh, if it does, it's going to be over. Game over.
Well, I know the PS3 was like that, but I don't know if the PS4 is like that. I don't know.
But I'll tell you, the killer to this game was as I bought it used because I was playing it like 2004, 2005, and people scratch up disc and stuff like that. And what I didn't know was at the very end of the game, that whole cinematic was half scratched out.
Oh man!
It wasn't. It was all a blur to me. It wasn't until I had. Remember the PS Mobile, the portable one
that you were talking about?
Yeah,
Zero? Yeah.
that I beat it on that, and I was so mad. It was on this little screen. You're like glued 2 inches away from the screen, and it was half and blurred. Thank God for YouTube because I ended up watching it later.
Gotcha. Cool. That's awesome. What about you, Frozen?
Well, I actually have a few. That one that immediately popped into mind.
Just do. Hold on. I want you to do one.
Okay, just one.
Yeah. Unfair, right?
Damn. Okay. Oh, why? Okay, so the one thing I want to come back.
Yeah, like you have, what is it? What is that called? What's that saying? Carte blanche? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can, they'll be like, hey, Frozen, we're gonna let you choose one. You can whatever it is, and we're gonna give you all the funding for it, and we're gonna do it right. What would you pick?
Onimusha.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I've rarely heard you talk about Onimusha.
Wow.
Yeah, I really love that game.
Really? Was that Shinji Mikami too? Like the guy who did Resident Evil?
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know who designed it and created the game, but
So why Onimusha?
It was so fun to play. I got wrapped up in the story, and I would love to see it come back and like done amazingly well.
I mean, they're long overdue.
Yeah, Capcom could definitely use a refresh like that.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't the first thing that came to mind, but I think I would really enjoy. I would be throwing my money at the screen if I saw that coming out.
Gotcha. Oh man. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think Resident Evil 2, I might be completely screwing this up. I think after they made Resident Evil 1 and they were developing Resident Evil 2, I think that's what initially turned into Onimusha, because I think Resident Evil 2 was supposed to have something. One of the Resident Evil games was starting to be developed as if it were an old school, I guess, samurai age game or whatever. That turned into Onimusha.
Yeah, I do remember something like that.
And then I know Resident Evil 4, the original development, that turned into Devil May Cry. I remember that too. So that's pretty crazy. That'd be awesome if they brought that back. That'd be cool. Man. For me, one that... See, I was thinking about one, but then I'm like, you know what? The way it is now is fine. One that I would really love to see brought back, done right with today's graphics, is a new Chrono game. I would love to see
Damn.
a new chapter in Chrono in the Chrono
Okay. I totally didn't even think of that, but oh my.
Can you imagine that done
Just
right?
lost their shit.
Damn it, I'm so pissed off at myself right now.
Hey man, we said it. It's okay.
I think this will be on the E3 wish list for next year that they announced.
Can you imagine if they dropped a new Chrono? Like, can you imagine the trailer?
Oh my god.
I would shit myself. No, I'm
Yeah,
serious.
I
think I would literally shit myself.
I would have to be hospitalized of dehydration for the amount of bodily fluids I'm going to lose.
Dude, just put a hose, feed it to your mouth, it'd be good. Preemptively. You good.
Damn, that's a good choice.
Yeah, one thing that kind of spurred that was, I don't want to talk about this too much, was the reboot of not just Rock Band, but the reboot of Tony Hawk. And Frozen, you were the one who told me that the launch has been really screwed up for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard an interesting theory. Huh?
I thought that was a horrible idea.
Well, the thing, I love the first. I never played Tony Hawk 1, but I played 2 through 4. I loved them. But I heard a theory based off this fact. I heard that the original contract they had for Tony Hawk or whatever for Tony Hawk Games, Activision went to 2015. So I heard that it's possible they just released this game to keep the Tony Hawk name minimally to allow that contract to keep going. Because they clearly did not put a lot of effort into it. And I was shocked when, Frozen, you told me that it was a full price retail game. I was shocked at that. I was like,
I mean, they could have done, PS Vita or something like that,
Yeah. But either way, so were there any other anything else you guys want to talk about?
I mean, I'm pumped for Halo.
Yeah, we gotta play that, man.
We gotta play that soon. We're running out of time, like hardcore.
I know. It's your fault.
No, we are. And you know what it is? It's such a good game. We're just gonna sit down and play through it again. Just.
Yeah.
Are you drunk right now?
No, sorry. I was moved. I was.
Were you moving things? What did I tell you about moving things? Were you?
No, I was shifting like my hand on my keyboard. I got distracted for a second.
What did you do during that break, man?
just started
a couple
chugging.
lines.
Just started chugging.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, who was it? Was anyone here a big fan of Far Cry?
Oh yeah, that's right. The new one coming out.
That they leaked. I meant to ask. Didn't one of you play that? Wasn't that Jeffy? Did
Frozen.
you get it, or was it Frozen?
Frozen.
Well,
it was 3.
I played 3. Yeah, I haven't played 4 though.
I heard 4 was really good. I played Far Cry 2 a little bit, way back when, but yeah, I saw the trailer for, I think it's called Far Cry Primal, and it looked very different. It actually reminded me a lot of what's that game that we saw at E3 announced by the people who did Killzone Horizon?
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of that, but no mechanical aspect of it. Just straight up, it just looked like old school tribes just doing their thing. No guns, just arrows and stuff. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know if it's considered a canonical game. Far Cry 5 is just Far Cry Primal. I do like that. I don't know, because it's coming out in February. That's borderline annualized. But I think it was 2 years between 3 and 4, and I like that. I don't like the Assassin's Creed schedule at all. But
I don't, but I am really excited for Syndicate. I don't know. I feel like they're breaking up their teams. So what they're doing is they have teams working for a year and a half, 2 years, and then one working on one, and then one helping with the other, and then they publish one, and then they focus on another. Like, I still don't like the annualization, and I know, Jeppy, I know you hate that.
yeah.
So, but for the record, are you gonna get the Witcher 3 expansion?
I want to beat Dragon Age first, and then I want to beat the Witcher 3 campaign first before I think of any expansion, even Dragon Age expansions.
And then just do the whole the whole thing at once.
Yeah, but from what I did hear, Witcher 3 offers a lot of free DLC, which is nice.
Oh, I didn't even know it was free DLC.
Oh, I don't know if the expansion's free, but I know they offered a lot more free stuff, which is cool. But yeah, Giggles, do me a favor. Keep going with Dragon Age. I don't think it's going to take much for you to get back into that groove.
No, Dragon Age is one of those games where it's like, it's simple to figure out where to go next, but it's not simple to figure out where you were before.
Yeah, but the way they designed that particular game, I think you might be underestimating how much you'll remember.
Yeah, I mean, I was still only in the first few hours of the game, so, you know what it is you spend so much time exploring that you don't get that far into the story, even though you might have played 6, 7, or 8 hours already, you know?
Yeah, no, trust me. I understand.
Yeah, you're much farther than I am. But yeah, give something to talk about in the next podcast.
Yeah. Frozen, any other things you wanted to say?
No, man, I'm good.
Cool. All right, well, that was episode 2 of the Brainal podcast. Everyone, thank you again for listening. We are going to try and hopefully get these up on iTunes, but right now we are posting them onto the site, and we're going to try and aim for a few days after we actually record it.
Cool.
So just a summary of what we're doing now. So we have, check out our YouTube channel. It's just Brainal, straight up Brainal. Then we have our Twitter account, which is @BrainalOfficial. Then we have our Twitch, which has exactly, if I remember correctly, it was carry the 0 followers right now. That's at BrainalOfficial as well. And Facebook, our Facebook page we're setting up as we speak. And at the center of it all is Brainal.net. So we'd love for you to check it out. Give us some feedback, comment, whatever works. Either way. So on behalf of Brainal.net, this has been Jeppy Condile.
Frozen GFX.
Mr. Giggles.
And just like every week, want to give a shout out to Scorp. Sup, dude?
What up, Scorp?
Scorp.
Scorp by me. You guys want to try the very awkward ending or outro? You want to try something different?
We are Brainal.
I just want you to coo. Can you coo?
Oh, yeah, let's coo it out.
Okay, that being said, I want everyone to have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Coo!
Later.
Quack, quack.